So here's an overview of the things that you need to know about the exam and the instructions. So the way that this works is, normally we would be doing this in class. Because we're doing it this way in the online version of the class, this involves essentially a take-home version. So what you'll need to do is, you have the exam sheet, which will be posted on the final exam page. You download the exam sheet, you can print it out, or if you have it on screen, whatever, and then you create a response document, a Word document, or whatever word processing app you're using, and you start filling in the answers as if it were an essay. Essentially, this is your blue book. And then at the end, once you've written out all the answers, you upload this Word file or PDF or whatever to Blackboard, no later than the deadline specified on the final exam page. Each section where you write out a written response, where there's a paragraph or more where you're talking about, you're giving the response to your answer, you need to give an assertion. You need to specify brief but specific examples, and then you give your discussion. So your responses are in these three sections: an assertion, brief but specific examples, and then your discussion, which is the most important part, showing how these examples give us insight, tell us about the ancient world. If you find it necessary to provide a quote that is illustrative of what it is that you're talking about, anything that comes from the outside must be within quote marks, and it must show where it comes from. It must be absolutely explicit that that these words are not yours, and you're marking them as such, and you're giving where they come from. Just to be brutally clear about this, nothing should get pasted in, nothing should get retyped from someplace else, nothing that comes from anywhere but your own head should be brought into this exam, except only if necessary, briefly and sparingly, in the example portion of an essay response. But better yet, talk about, in your own words, what this example is and what it's showing us, and use that to make a point about this idea, this phenomenon, this time and place. Anything in the discussion must be your discussion, must come from your head, your understanding. Please follow these instructions carefully and talk to me about your understanding of the ancient world. Please read the instructions for each section and upload your response document by the deadline indicated. First section is identification and impact. What I'm doing here is I'm giving you several different terms from the semester, and I'm asking you to write about only a few of them, the ones that you're most confident with. And what I want you to do is give a brief definition. Definition is the least important part. A one-sentence definition of what this is. The main thing I want you to be talking about is what is important about this. Why are we talking about it? What does this person or idea or event give us in terms of insight into the ancient world? Short answer, same thing, more detail. I'll give you several different questions to choose from. You pick a couple of them and provide a response that makes an assertion, gives examples, and draws conclusions about a specific aspect of something that we've studied. And again, I'm only asking for two here, so choose the two that you're most comfortable with and respond to those. Multiple choice. Answer all 6 of these just in your response document. Type the number of the question and the letter corresponding to it. You don't need to have to give more than that. Take note of the fact that, as usual, I'm giving, blah, 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 except. So think about what the question is trying to ask. The essay section, this is your chance to write at greater length about the major themes and ideas that we've covered in the entire semester. So bring things together. Focus on things that you've been paying most attention to, that you're most intrigued by, and make sure that you are providing evidence and examples, 3 different pieces of evidence to support the assertion that you're making in this essay. So this is where you give your assertion, you provide evidence from the things that we have been exploring and studying, and then in your analysis, bring these examples together. Give your interpretation, your understanding of what these examples are showing us about these times and places. Finally, there is extra credit. All of these things are here on the exam. Take a close look at it. You've got time to figure out what it is that you want to talk about, what it is about a particular question that seems to be standing out to you the most, that you want to emphasize in your answer. Read through your answers before you upload them. Most of all, make sure that you are making assertions about the ancient world and that you are providing concrete, specific examples that show the reasons why your assertions make sense, that show your understanding. Your description of the examples should be yours. The analysis of the examples should be yours. This is your opportunity to talk about what you've come away with, the things that have impacted you most, the connections that you have made between the places and times that we've studied. Just make sure that you are being specific, concrete, and that you're using examples to make your point about the themes and ideas that we've discussed in the course, and the conflicts and the expectations and the meaning of what it was like to be a part of this community. Please make sure you come to me with any questions about the exam. There won't be any opportunity to revise or alter the exam once it's been submitted, because the semester will be over. So you need to come to me with any questions that you have. Practical questions about how the exam works, questions about anything that we've covered in the course. Come to me with questions before you submit your exam, and we'll work through it together. Good luck, and thank you for an amazing semester.